Hi, this is Melissa with Web of Creativity, and today's video is going to be on my fake pocket mini album. I did a written tutorial. This video is going to correspond with that. I'm going to show you how to put together this cute mini album fake pocket. And the video is going to be with the Time to Celebrate Graphic 45 paper collection. My first project was using, this is the Halloween version. It uses the Echo Park Arsenic and Lace paper collection. So I'm just going to briefly go over this and then we'll jump into the cover of the Fake Pocket Mini. So it's called Fake Pocket Mini because here is the tag, but there is no pocket. It's all magnetized. Alright. Get my cutting mat out. And I did not print my tutorial in color. This is black and white. So we'll start off with the cover. We have 3 pieces of chipboard. Only need one 12 by 12 sheet of chipboard. The directions do say black chipboard, but you can use any color. So we have the front and back covers and the spine. I already cut them out to make this go a little quicker. And I've already added tape to all my pieces. To cover this, we're going to need 2 pieces of pattern paper. This is going to go on the front. This will overlay the front for the spine and the back. And I did already punch this side out, and I used Martha Stewart French scroll. I do ink a little of my edges, just this one at the moment, and I used the Tim Holtz frayed burlap. So we'll take the front piece, flip it over. We'll take the front cover, line it up with one edge, and we'll want a 1/2 inch border all the way around. I'm just removing my tape backing. So again, we're going to line it up straight with one edge. Having a 1/2 inch border all the way around. We'll need to cut some of these corners off. You can either use Tim Holtz ruler with the metal edge or the Perfect Trim ruler. The Perfect Trim ruler, you just set it on the corner, line it up, cut it off. Get your craft knife. The Perfect Trim ruler has a measurement of how thick your chipboard is, so you can put it on there. I do put it out just a little bit further in order to get a good wrap. add some tape. You can either add it to the chipboard or to the paper. I'll go ahead and add it to the paper. To wrap, you can always flip to get a good crease on your paper. Just turn it up a little bit. Easier to fold over. So we're going to start with the two sides. There we go. I have a bone folder to give it a good rub down so it'll stick. I run it along my edges as well. But I'm also going to, at the end, there's a little extra paper. I'm just going to use my bone folder and push it down into the crease. Looks like a piece of paper got stuck in my tape. Alright. Run the bone folder along the edge and the top. And there's the top. Front cover. On page 4 of the tutorial. The Halloween version and the tutorial has this strip right here, which you can add. I am skipping this step. I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to cut out a square and put on it on top of everything. So it's up to you on what you want on how to decorate the front cover, but if you want that strip, then you can just follow the directions and do that strip first. Alright. Alright, we're going to, the edge that has nothing on it, we're going to go ahead and put a piece of 1/2 inch tape. And it's 1/2 inch so we know where to place our second sheet of paper. So this paper, you have the punched edge. You don't want the tape to go through the punched edge, so you're going to go over and attach the 1/2 inch so the punched edge isn't on the tape, and then the 1/2 inch of tape is going to attach to the second sheet of paper. And you'll have a 1/2 inch on the top and bottom overhang. Which is hard to see. There we go. rub it to give it a good stick. We're going to go ahead and flip it over. So now we're on the back side, and we're going to get our spine piece and a spacer. The spacer is, I use 2 pieces of chipboard. This is just spare chipboard. And you'll place it on the edge of your chipboard. Remove the tape, line this up, place it down, and there's your space. So your front and back covers fold nicely. I'm actually going to add a little more extra to this. I'm going to get my ATG. And add a little more tape to it. Again, I'm going to line it up from the top and the bottom. There we go. And then repeat for the back cover. Have your tape on there. Put that down, line it up, and we'll cut off the extra. You can add more, the ATG or score tape, whatever adhesive you like for the front covers and back covers. I didn't think I needed the extra for the front and back. I put it on the spine because you have, that needs to be sturdy for your book. And that's where, on the other side, that's where all your pages are on. So, just want to make sure that paper stays put. Alright, line that up. There we go. And then we get our ruler. We're going to go ahead and cut a 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch out. Well, that's all right. Okay. I'm going to open my next package of score tape to give me 1 second. I use 3/8 of an inch tape. Oh, the corners need to be cut. Let's go ahead and trim those real quick. I'm just running my bone folder over to get it a good stick, and again, folding this up to give it a crease. Another way you can crease it is if you hold it up just a bit, take your bone folder edge and run it along the edge, just like that. And that'll give it a crease also. Alright. I'm going to add some extra, I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the punched part. Oops. So it doesn't get caught on anything. Let's see if my glue's in here. Well, that's a lot. Now when you run your bone folder over the edge, you want to pause where the gap is so your bone folder doesn't go through the paper and rip your paper. It doesn't always happen, but I've had it happen, so I'm pretty cautious about it now. Alright, just as I did the front cover, I'm going to squish the side. And fold that over. Alright. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the inside paper on next. And I've already got that cut out. So we're going to put the front and back on first, and then we'll have, this is the spine piece, and then we'll put that on last. I already inked the edges of this, again with frayed burlap, and added my tape, which I'm going to add extra adhesive to. Make sure this is right side up. Don't want to put my paper upside down. And then I'm going to attach it so it's about 1/8 from the edge. 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way around. And if you want to know the measurements of any of these pieces, I do have my tutorial that I'm following along with. It is on my blog at www.webofcreativity.net. Again, that's www.webofcreativity.net. It is under the tutorial tab, and again, it's called Fake Pocket Mini Album. Alright, remove the tape, add some extra. So, let me attach this real quick. And if you're doing the Halloween version, before you attach these, I have attached my ribbon. In the tutorial, it just attaches about to right here, and then cover it with paper. The ribbon is a good closure, but this stays closed pretty easily. So I figured that I was going to try one without one. It didn't seem to need one. So it's up to you if you want to add the ribbon or not. Go ahead, and I added extra tape to my spine piece. This will be holding your binding with all your pages. So you need to make sure it sticks real well. Alright, we're going to stick this so it's centered between the two pieces, and an 1/8 of an inch from the top and bottom. Alright. And then slowly fold your book and I skipped a step. Of course I did. Alright, the step that I skipped was on page 8. I was supposed to add tape to my spine piece right here. I do have tape on the paper, so it's fine, but it will bubble up just a little bit because I didn't add the tape there where I was supposed to. The back side, however, laid flat. So it's a gamble. I would suggest you add the tape. I'd put the tape on both sides of where the gap is, a piece here and here, here and here. So that is what I skipped because I wasn't reading my tutorial as I was going along. Alright, so once you got that folded, I like to fold it a little more, but very slowly to prevent cracking. You want it to try and get it to sit together by itself, then just pop out. And you have plenty of time to fool with it, but that one doesn't pop out like this one does. So just keep playing with it a little bit, and as long as you go slow and don't go all the way in, don't make it fold all the way in, just go slow, your paper shouldn't crack. But if there is a chance that it cracks, just add. Some people say glue, some people just say ink it. It adds character. So it's whichever one you want. Alright. I'm going to decorate the cover later and move on. But I do have pieces that I already cut out. I made a butterfly. I have some feathers from the paper collection. I cut out flower. I haven't decided what all I want yet, so I just have pieces. Just thinking at the moment. Yeah, something along those lines maybe. I might change my mind like I always do. Alright. Next, we will work on the binding strip and the pages. next are the pages. I'm going to move this out of the way. For the Time to Celebrate, I'm using 3 colors. Green, a light pink, and a darker pink. I'm going to make 2 pages each of each color. Now with the Halloween version, I just used black for all my pages, and then used 3 colors for my accent for my mats and my tags, and I used purple, green, and orange. So on the tutorial, we are on page 8. So we'll have 3 pieces, which I already cut out. And we have the base page, which is the smaller piece, which these 2 are going to be attaching to. So the base page, the long page is the front page, and then this chunkier piece is the back page. So we're going to set the base page out. I have already scored this per directions, which are on page 9. So we have a 1/2 inch section down here. That is going to be your tab. We are going to taper the corners, which is cutting up to the score line on both sides. And add tape to the newly created tab. And we're going to flip it over. The tab is under, and fold this down. And that's our first front page. So we'll take the base page, we're going to attach the tab straight at the bottom. We'll remove the tape, backing, flip over and line it up with the bottom. And then I run the bone folder over to give it a good stick. So there we go. Pull this out. You see it coming together. And I'll take the chunkier page. This will be the back page. This also has the 1/2 inch tab. Go ahead and taper the corners. Add tape. Then we'll flip that over and fold on the second score line. There we go. We'll take the front page, flip it over, and we are going to attach it on the right side. Again, the right side. I'm going to turn it so I can see. Line it straight with that side. There we go. And that's our page. Oops. over. This is made with the dark pink. I'm going to go ahead and make another one with the light pink. I already cut out my pages. So I have the base page, the long front page, and then the back page. So just repeating the same thing that we already did. Fold the tab, taper the corners, again cut up to the score line, add tape. And you are going to make 6 pages. Add the tape, flip over, fold on the second score line. Take the base page, attach it to the bottom. Lining it up. Take the back page, fold the tab, taper the corners, add the tape, flip it, fold it, take your front page, make sure it's facing the right direction, turn it over, and attach it to the right edge. There we go. Now I have 2 pages, 4 more to make. We are going to show you the binding. Let's see. Alright, binding is on page 12. A special note for the binding, this is not my design or creation. Laura Dennison with Following the Paper Trail. This is her binding method. It's called Stack the Deck. She does a lot of albums with Stack the Deck. It happens to be my favorite binding system. It works well. The pages are flexible. Really like it. So I'm going to show you that method. In the tutorial, you'll cut 3 pieces and score them. You'll score it 3/4 up, flip it on your scoreboard, and do 3/4 again. If you don't, you'll be scoring 3/4 up, and then you'll have like a 1/8 inch or 7/8 inch that you have to score on, and sometimes that's really hard to see on a scoreboard. So 3/4, flip, 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and fold all of them and use my bone folder to get a good crease on all the score lines. This one isn't going to require any tapering. So no tapering of the corners. So I fold all of my tabs going the same direction. But all of them don't get taped the same way. We are going to, on the front side, which is them going up, we're going to take our 1/2 inch tape. The reason why we take the 1/2 inch is because when we tape it, we want to have 1/4 of an inch space from the tape to the score line, and the 1/2 inch tape is perfect for that. So you want to put it right on the edge. So you see it has, see where the score line is? That leaves that 1/4 of an inch gap. So all 3 pieces are going to be taped on the left side. So then we're going to flip all the pieces over and we're going to add tape. So this side is taped on the left. When you flip it over, you're going to tape the center piece and the right side. So you just don't want to tape the same side as the tape on the other side. So again, center, right. And again, it's still just right at the edge. You want that 1/4 space. And since the center is smaller than my 3/4, I'm going to get my 1/4, maybe my 3/8. 3/8 tape out. Alright. We'll take this one and do the same thing. Take the opposite fin on the back side. Tape in between the score lines. You don't want to tape on the score line or go over the score line. Going to take my bone folder, give it a good press. All right. And these get stacked, and that's why it's called Stack the Deck. So we're going to attach them smallest to largest and in the center. So you want these 3 tabs taped, these not, and then when you just flip them over, all these are taped. So one side fins are going one direction are all taped, going the opposite direction. Oops. There is no tape. Alright, so we'll take the smallest and the second smallest, line them up, and tape. So we'll just remove the tape backing from the centerpiece and between the score lines. Make sure the tape is on the same fin. I'm just eyeballing the centerpiece, but you can definitely measure with your ruler. Again, tape on the same side. There we go. And that's Stack the Deck. So when we attach the pages, this looks a little crooked. I wonder if I can get that up. If you get it a little crooked and you don't use your bone folder to get it down, sometimes you can just pry it up with a spatula of some kind. This one is actually from my Cricut. But anything flat will work. There is some liquid called Undo that you can use. It makes your paper wet though, and you have to wait for it to dry. That still looks crooked. That doesn't. Oh, I think it's my imagination. Alright. So we'll go ahead and attach the 2 pages that we made. What page we're on. Alright, attaching pages, page 14. Alright, so take the first page and it's going to, you're going to open it up, just the first flap, not this part of the flap, and we're attaching the binding right on this edge. And this is smaller than your pages, so it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch low on this side. Alright, I'm going to turn this upside down to attach it, make it a little easier to see. Oh. I only want to attach it to where the tape is and leave that 1/4 gap. So might attach it this way. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So you'll have your page open. You want to attach it on this side. You're going to flip it upside down. Remove your tape. And again, only attaching it that 1/2 inch mark, leaving the 1/4 inch space. And we're going to make this page go up about 1/8 of an inch. So it'll look like that. That closes. The page is attached. We're going to go ahead and do the second page. Flip it open. It's going to want to attach the left edge. There we go. 2 pages in. Alright. The next step will be to decorate the pages, but I'm just going to show you that this goes right here in the center. So first we're going to make all our pages, attach them, and then attach them to the book and decorate them. So that's what we have left to do. I'm going to stop the video and restart it when I have all these pages attached. Alright. I now have put together all of my pages and attached them. And now it's time to attach them to your covers that we did. What I did is I did measure with a ruler so I can figure out the center of where this goes. It's 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. And then just put little marks with a pencil as a guideline of where I'm going to put attach this. So making sure that I have this face correctly. I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape. I just took my ruler and found the center point. And then marked from the center of this, and then just place my markings on there. So I'm going to turn this sideways so I can see it. Place it right where my markings is, and it helps that my paper, the spine paper, is lined. So I can just follow that line. There we go. That looks about center. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and push it down. And give it a good stick. And I do this in between each page. Alright, there we go. The next step is to place our magnets. So I am on page 16. And I think my tutorial is placing the magnets before I attach to the album, but it is okay, whichever way you do it. So I'm going to take 3 magnets per page. I use these Graphic 45, not Graphic 45, Basic Gray magnet discs. They are, I think they're 1/2 inch. About 5/8 of an inch. So 3 per page. I got 2 negatives and a positive if you get the ones with the stickers on them. But it don't matter. You tape them where they go. So I'm going to open my first page, and I'm going to measure. We're going to go 1.5 inches up and centered. That would be 2.5. 2.5 from the edge. I'm trying to add in this extra 1/4 inch that we have over here for the binding. Alright, now that I know where I'm going to place it, I'm going to place it right in the middle. So 2.5 inches from over the edge, 1.5. I think it's 1 1/4. I almost messed up. Read my tutorial. Always read your tutorial. It's 1 1/4, not 1.5. The basic grays have tape on them. Makes it real easy to stick them down. There you go. And then we're going to cover this with tape. And I like to run, I have fingernails today, so you can run your fingernail around the edge, or take your bone folder and run around it to get a good stick around the edge of the magnet. Alright, that's our first one. I'm going to fold this down and lift this mat up, and we're going to find, there we go, binder spot. So then this one has the sticker facing up, which makes it easier. So I'm going to take the sticker off. If it doesn't, just add a small piece of tape right there, and we're going to lower this flap down, give it a good rub, and there's our placement. And again, take a piece of tape and cover it. Okay, so now we have 2 down, so now it stays. Alright, to get this one to stay, we're going to do the same thing. Place your magnet so the sticker side up, and again, if there's no sticker, just add a piece of tape. And fold the flap, rub, and there we go. Now the reason why I don't have all these in the middle is because magnets, because of the magnet placement and everything, the negative and the positive sides. If we had them all in the middle, either all of our pages would stick together and it'd be a little more difficult to pry them apart, or they would bounce off each other. So this way I have page 1 is 1 1/4 up, page 2 is 1 1/4 down, so they don't conflict with each other. So we're going to go ahead and do the second page. Follow the tutorial. So let me move on to the next page. So this one will go 1 1/4 down, like, oh, yep. There we go. Alright. I was a little off the camera. So we'll go ahead and make our marks. I'll do 1 1/4 down. And that's 2.5 inches over. There we go. And I lost my positive. Remove the tape. Add. Alright, now we got that magnet down. Add my piece of tape. close this flap, open this flap. So the magnet sticks to it. Remove this tape. Close this flap. And I think next time I'm just going to move it. Think about it, it is kind of close to the edge, so when you cover it with paper, the paper is going to be just right about here. So might want to move that just a little bit. Maybe put this one at 1.5 instead of 1 1/4. So you learn as you go. All right. The second side. Let's see where this is at. All right. So this one, I'm going to have to add tape to it. Again, I'm just going to add a small piece of tape. Let me go ahead and get the tape backing off. And the magnet sticks to my blade on my craft knife. All right. So there's my piece of tape. Put it down. Shut the flap. Give it a good rub. Open and then add. There is already tape there, but I do want to tape the magnet down, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add a piece of tape over it. I am gonna remove this paper though. Alright. Add the piece of tape and there. It's not stuck. And that's how this one opens. See, when it's all magnetized, it's all close and together, and it's not. This isn't going to get in your way when you open this and get caught on all the papers, so you want to try and close it. So, makes it nice and neat pages when you add magnets to them. Okay. For the video purposes, I'm only going to just do the 2 pages, and then I'll show you the rest of them when I'm done decorating. So this one starts from the bottom, 1 1/4. I'd probably do 1.5 inches from the top on this one. 3rd page would be from the bottom, 4th page from the top, 5th page from the bottom, 6th page from the top, and then you're done. Time to mat the pages. I am going to move this up because for the paper, I already cut out my mats, but I do need to crop the corners and ink the edges so you get to see all the boring work. I'm going to get my craft sheet out since I'm inking, and we'll start with page 1. So how we're going to mat, we're going to go ahead and mat the inside, 2 insides. Leave this to last. And mat these 2. Close. We'll mat these 2 and these 2. So we'll leave the 2 fronts until last. Which I've already cut out my pieces for my 2 fronts. But what I like to do, especially with the Echo Park paper, is do all my big mats first. And then with the scraps, come back and do the fronts and the back. With the Echo Park paper, there's only 12 sheets. So I had to use the scraps and some of the solid cardstock to get these decorated. So we're going to do matting first, then I'll show you matting this, and then we'll move on to the tags. Alright, so I already, here's my front pages. There's the front of the front pages, back of the front pages, and I got my ink ready, and we're going to I'm using the, let me empty it out first, Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper. I'm going to use the 1 1/4 corner. So I'm going to crump all of my corners. On the Halloween version, I used the stub. The stub side. I'll show you a page real quick. So I got the stub corners. So this one I'm going to do rounded corners. I really like this paper right here with the balloons and the cute little kid and flowers. Celebrate. I really like this color, and the coloring is just great. And these are for the back of the first page. Now with the Halloween one, I did one pattern and one cardstock. But it only had 12 sheets, so I had no choice. It looks great though. This one, however, the Graphic 45 paper collection has more sheets to it, so I can do 3 pattern papers and 1 cardstock. But you can do any variety that you want to do. So the ink that I'm using is Sprayed Burlap. It's Settle, and that's what I was looking for. So then I'm just going to ink the edges. If you don't want to watch me ink edges, feel free to fast forward until I start attaching. This is the tedious part, but it needs to get done. I'm not going overboard on the ink, I'm just inking the edges just a little bit. The pattern paper on this and the light colors, it just needs a little inking. With the Echo Park, I used just the black soot. I might have added a little more ink to it. It's your preference on how you like to ink your edges. There we go. Alright, attaching. You can use glue, tape, there's Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. Of course you can use score tape. I have an ATG, the pink one. I'm going to go ahead and use that on my pages. It really depends on your preference and what you want. The mat size, the matting is on page 19. And so is the attaching. So I'm on page 19 of the tutorial. And we're going to go ahead and get these pages matted, this first page matted. So I'm going to use this one on front. Alright. Move these to the sides. I do want to remove the tape from the magnet. Use my ATG gun glider. I call it a gun, but it's a glider. Alright. Make sure your paper is right side up. I'm going to have about, that is crooked. I don't think I can get it up either. It's, nah, I think it's too stuck to the magnet. Oh well, about an 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch around. That is crooked. Oh, that's alright. With the magnet, just, I like to run my bone folder across it to give it, make sure it gets a good stick. Now, we're going to go ahead and cover that one. I think my biggest problem is always putting things on crooked. I stamp crooked also. I don't know if it's because I'm in a hurry or what. Alright, I'm going to attach. See if I can do a better job. I don't think I can do a better job. Oh, I did. There we go. That looks more straight. Alright. My lining is a little off. Let's see if that made it any better. Oh, I hope so. Alright. Wait, I'm not done. Flip this flap. Flip this flap open. Alright, say that 5 times fast. And checking to see where my pages go. There we go. I'm going to remove the tape backing from the magnet. Sometimes I go over the edge, and then I just rub my finger over the side just to get it to come back over. Alright. There we go. It's good just to give it a good rub with your bone folder to get a good stick. Alright. One last flap and then we'll move to the back. Alright, 1 crooked out of 4 is not bad. Alright. There we go. Moving to the back side. Alright, then we open the last back flap, and I did not add tape. Pay attention, right? Right. Remove the tape backing from over the magnet. Oops. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to decorate the front and back flaps. So, and I already cut my pieces out. So I'm going to put that to the side. Grab my pieces. All right, how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to set it up just like I set up in the Echo Park one. I have the 2 strips, top and bottom, and then 1 strip in the middle, and then punch the corners. So, with the Echo Park Halloween one, I used Martha Stewart's spiderweb corner. With this one, I'm going to use French scroll corner. I used the French scroll edge punch on the front cover. So, figure what's top and bottom here. I'm going to punch it before I ink it. Alright, so I'm only doing the top 2 corners on the top piece, and then the bottom 2 corners on the bottom piece. So that's what the front page is going to look like, and then the back page, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah. Not going to be able to see this. Going to have to turn it upside down and line it up. Alright. Then I'm going to do the bottom 2. Now, if you get it a little crooked and have a little piece of spare, just trim it off with your scissors. So, and that's how that one's going to look. Okay, now time to ink the edges. I'm going to use the same color, frayed burlap. only 2 edges need to be inked on these parts, but instead of trying to remember what 2 edges, just ink the whole thing. So just the 2 side edges. Okay. Now let's see what page we're on. Page 21. Alright, 22 tells us where our placement's going to be. So let's Alright, that's how it's gonna look. Make sure that's... I always like to check my measurements. Alright, that looks good. That's about... how far down? That's not 1/7/8. So we'll probably just get it 1.5 inch down. That looks good. Double check. Perfect. Because I think the tutorial says 1 1/4 inch down. Alright. So we're going to attach this piece first. And I'm going to have to fix my ATG gun. Glider. Jeez, I keep calling it a gun. Alright. I say about 1.5 inches down. Centered 5/8. Yeah. Alright, that looks good. With this one, I'm going to add some glue on the punched edge part so it doesn't stay up. And my ATG gun needs to be fixed, so I'm going to use my tape real quick. If you want to know what happened, the paper slid off the rail, so all this has to be cut off. I noticed some of them are real slick and then some aren't. So we're going to finish up with just the tape then. Let me see, since I'm using glue, I have to make sure it's not plugged up. Alright, great. I'm going to go ahead and take the tape backing off, and then we'll add our glue. Can you see that? Yeah, see the glue? Okay. I'm going to attach it centered. Wipe the excess glue off. There we go. Starting to look good. Alright. One more and then we can go to the back of the next page. Alright. Add my tape. Remove the tape backing. Add my glue to my punched edge. I tend to dab a little on my fingers so it doesn't spill out as much. Alright. That looks good. There we go. And voila! Oops. Oh. Alright, so the back section. Where's my, let's see. Alright, for placement is page 23. Let me add my tape. Again, double check my measuring. Should have done that before I moved the tape. It's about 7/8. Oh, that's good. And then about 5/8 on both sides. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go 7/8 down and 5/8 from each side, or just try and eyeball the center. There we go. That looks good. And these will go right on top. Alright, gonna add my tape to my piece. Woo, that doesn't leave a lot of room. My punched a little bit more on the end, so I'm gonna have to use glue to glue my ends down. 1/8 inch tape will fit in there if you have it. I do, but I don't want to dig that out right now. So I'm just going to use my glue. Alright. See that little extra space right there? Yeah. I think the corner spiderweb one for the Halloween had enough room for the tape. It's alright. I'll just use the glue. There we go. So again, I would mat the pages first and then use the scraps to do the front covers and then decorate them. Still have tags to do, so I'm going to stop the video real quick and then start it back up with tags, okay? Alright, I got all my pages covered front and back with the matting. So what's left is to decorate them. Now this collection has a good, a few cut apart pages. And you can cut some pieces off of. And then you got some stickers that you can use too. I did do the front cover. I'm not sure if you can see it too well. This is a little bit shimmery on the flowers and the edge of this border. And I spritzed my butterflies also. And that's, I used the Perfect Pearls mist to get that look. So I cut this apart. This is a sticker from the collection. This is a die cut from Spellbinders. Lattice rectangles. And then these cute little butterflies. Are memory box dies. Got Peppy butterfly and Arifa butterfly wings. Alright, so what's next, besides decorating the inside, is the tags. So I already, of course, cut them out. Tags and tag mats are on page 24. And with the Halloween version, we got black mats and corner cuts, Martha Stewart, spiderweb punch, and then a stub punch. Alright. So with this one, I'm going to use the French scroll for the corners like I did on the pages, and we'll go ahead and I'm not sure if I want to round the corners or not, but I'll go ahead and give one a shot, see if I like it or not. So again, page 24, we have the tag itself and then the mat that goes on top of it, and then this goes on the back side. If you have enough paper, pattern paper, you can always mat them with the pattern paper. But I would suggest you decorate all your pages first and see what you have left over. It does to me look like there's probably enough paper, but that's before decorating the pages and cutting the cut apart pages apart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and round the corners and give it a shot, see if I like it. And then use the French scroll for this one. Go ahead for it. I'll go for it, is what I was supposed to say. Then we'll use my ATG. And I'm going to add a little glue to the tips to get it to stay right. Alright, there we go. We'll do that for the back side. You can have any color combination that you want. Alright, so the longer one goes at the top one. And the color does blend in a little bit, but I'm okay with that. There you go. And now we have our, done with our fake pocket mini. I will continue working on this and decorating it and adding to the front and back covers and put pictures on my blog. That's www.webofcreativity.net. Continue working on this, and again I'll put pictures on my blog, but this will be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Thank you for watching.